Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, I welcome you all to the subject digital image processing. With this video we are going to start with the second chapter of this subject, and the chapter is titled Digital Image Fundamentals. The very first topic, that is structure of the human eye, we are going to see into this video, which is a very important topic, because whatever the cameras that we see today is that into the field of digital images, those all are the devices that are manufactured to see the mechanism of human eye, because naturally existing the image sensor that is with the human beings is our human eye. So it is very much important to see how exactly the human eye works, what is the structure into the human eye, so that the image can be captured. To look at the scenario into the surroundings is very much important. So let us start with the topic structure of the human eye. So let us start with the topic, that is structure of the human eye from digital image fundamentals chapter. So a prototype of digital image processing. So we first of all title this topic to be exactly the elements of visual perception. So how many elements of visual perceptions are there? So in our study we are going to talk about the three elements. So the first three videos of the second chapter are actually coming under this particular title, elements of visual perception. So structure of the human eye is one of the element, the latter we see into the subsequent videos. So regarding elements of visual perception, the field of digital image processing is built on the foundation of mathematical and probabilistic foundations or formulations we can say, but the human intuition and the analysis play a central role in the choice of the technique based on to the subjective or visual judgments. So we have to always we have a scope to judge which image processing technique is better. So that is till done by the subjective methods or the visual judgments by the bare eyes we can say. Next to that, thus a basic understanding of human visual perception is the first step in understanding the digital image processing. So this is a must thing. So thus we have this topic into our curriculum. So we move further into the same topic, elements of the visual perception. So this has to exactly cover first of all the mechanics of the human visual system that we are going to start with to see the structure of the human eye, and the next one, image formation in the eye, that is the next video, and its capabilities for brightness adaptation and discrimination, that will be following the image formation into the eye. So the three topics come under the title elements of visual perception. The mechanics and parameters related to how images are formed and perceived by humans is the key interest of our time here. The physical limitations of the human vision in terms of the factors like resolution and ability to adapt the changes into the illumination are important from practical point of view also. So now we begin with the human visual system. The human visual system basically consists of two primary components. These are the eye and the brain, and these two are connected by the optic nerve here. So eye is actually a receiving sensor. So usually in our digital image processing system, in place of eye we have a camera or a scanner here. Next to that, whatever the brain we have talked about, the second component into the human visual system is actually information processing unit. In our digital systems we have a computer system replacing the place of brain. So optical nerve is a connection between the eye and the brain. So this completes the human visual system, and the digital image processing system is comprising the camera or scanner along with the computer system connected by a physical wire. So this was this was the human visual system. The function of the visual system is actually to detect the electromagnetic radiation, abbreviated as EMR, emitted by the objects. Humans can detect the light wavelength between 400 to 700 nanometer. Here the perceived color, which is also called as the hue, is related to wavelength of the light. Next, Brightness is related to intensity of the radiation. The functions of vision can be given as discriminating the figure from the background. For example, the food or the rock into the diagram, into the figure should be discriminated one. To detect the movement, for example, the case of predator and a prey, if it is taken, so which object is a predator or prey has to be detected by the human visual system. Next to that is detecting color. This is the adaptive value of color vision. So here we have the electromagnetic spectrum. In the chapter number 1, while seeing the applications of digital image processing, we started with the gamma rays, x-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible and infrared, along with the microwaves and radar. So before gamma rays also we can extend to the cosmic rays, and after radio waves, here we have the short waves up till now. So visible spectrum is expanded here. It is a very small part of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, and that is shown with the different colors that start with the blue and end with actually the red here. So it ranges from 400 nanometers to 750 nanometers, we can say, in terms of the wavelength. So wavelength into the nanometers is shown here. Now this is the visual spectrum that can be divided broadly into the three bands, what we say blue, green and red. So these ranges are actually the approximate ranges in terms of the wavelength values, but as we have the color images into the RGB model, we say red, green and blue, the three components of the visible spectrum can be shown like this. The sensors to sense the red, green and blue are actually distributed across the retina of our eye. So now we exactly start with structure of the human eye. Broadly speaking, eye is nearly a sphere and the average diameter is approximately 20 millimeters. So 20 millimeters of spherical body can be supposed to be the eye. So there are the three membranes that actually enclose the eye sphere, we can say. The first membrane is the combination of the cornea along with the sclera. These are the outer covers. Next one is the choroid, followed by the retina. So these are the three membranes which enclose the eye. So in the diagram we can see the structure or the anatomy of the human eye. So in this diagram we can see the cornea onto the anterior side along with the sclera onto the remaining portion of the eye. Here we have choroid inside the sclera and the retina, which is very much inside the innermost layer or the innermost membrane, we can say. The different things with respect to the mechanism of the eye or the structure. So for lens, here we have ciliary bodies holding the ciliary muscles holding these particular bodies and the lens, the ciliary fibers we can see here. This is actually the visual axis. So here in front of this particular position there has to be the object that is visible to us, and the image is formed onto the back side of this particular retina, we can say. There is one blind spot that we are definitely going to address along with the fovea. The material here into this eye is filled with the vitreous humor. So this is the structure, anatomy, and it is connected with the nerve and the shelf that is going to connect to the brain here. So the points regarding the first membrane, that is cornea. So cornea is a tough transparent tissue covering the anterior surface. So this is the anterior surface here, and it is continuous with the sclera, and sclera is the opaque membrane that encloses remainder of the eye. So onto the anterior side we have the cornea here, and onto the remaining portion we have the sclera here. Next to that there is second membrane that is called as choroid, which we have seen. So this lies directly below the sclera. So below the sclera there it is choroid here, and it contains a network of blood vessels that serve as a major source of nutrition to the eye. Now the choroid coat is heavily pigmented and hence helps to reduce the amount of extraneous light entering the eye and backscatter within the optic globe. So if high amount of light is incident or illuminated to our eyes, so the effect we most of the times experience, so that is somewhat minimized by this particular membrane, that is choroid here. Next to choroid, the another information that its anterior extreme is divided into the ciliary body and the iris here. Iris, we know the pupil is surrounded by the iris, which is the very essential biometric one to have the identity, to have the proper recognition, identification of a person. So the iris actually contracts or expands to the control of amount of light that enters the eye here. Next to that, the central opening of the iris, the pupil varies in diameter from approximately 2 to 8 meters here, 2 to 8 millimeters. The lens is made up of the concentric layers of fibrous cells and is suspended by fibers that attach to the ciliary body. So here we have the next point. The lens, which is very much important as far as the visualization is concerned, the focus is because of this particular lens. So it absorbs approximately 8% of the visible light spectrum with the relatively higher absorption at shorter wavelengths. Next, the innermost membrane of the eye is the retina that we have already discussed. This is the third membrane that we have talked about. So this lies inside the wall's entire posterior portion. So onto the back side, the retina is seen here, and here the fovea is there and blind spot onto the retina surface, we can say. When the eye is properly focused, the light from the object outside the eye is imaged onto the retina. So retina is having the image of the object that we see with our eye here. Now there are two classes of receptors. Receptors are actually the sensors. Into the previous video we have seen the components of image processing system. So very first block that we have seen, very first important, that is sensor, image sensors. So these are the receptors of two types with the human eye. These are called as the cones and the rods. The cones in each eye number between 6 to 7 millions. They are located primarily into the central portion of the retina, and the portion is called as fovea, and these are highly sensitive to the color. The cone vision is also called as photopic or bright light vision. Next to the cones we have another types of receptors. These are called as the rods. The number of rods is much larger as compared to number of the cones, and some of the 75 to 150 millions are distributed over the retinal surface. So basically the cones occupy the central position of the retina near the fovea, whereas along the entire of the retina, along with the cones, we have the rods distributed here. Now the rods serve to give a general overall picture of the field of the view. They are not involved in color vision and are sensitive to low levels of illumination. The related phenomenon is called as scotopic also or dim light vision. Earlier the vision because of the cones we have seen to be the photopic. Here it is scotopic vision because of the rods. Now the two receptors, these are the two sensors of human visual system, can be compared here. For the cone we can say it is for the daylight vision. On the another hand, the rods are actually for the night vision, we can say. The cones are sensitive to color, whereas the rods are see only the brightness or the gray level, we can say, and not exactly the color. The cones are concentrated into the central portion, whereas the rods are distributed across the entire retina. The cones have higher resolution capability. They differentiate small changes into the vision. The rods have medium and low level of visualization in respect of the resolution, we can say. The number of cones are 6 to 7 million, whereas the number of rods are 75 to 150 millions. The fine details are resolved due to the cones, whereas the rods serve to give a general overall picture of the field of the view. So this comparison is very much essential, as these are the very important sensors with which we are capable to see. The cones also have the higher resolution than the rods because they have individual nerves tied to each sensor. This is the main reason why the cones have higher resolution. The rods have multiple sensors tied to each nerve. So there are individual nerves to each sensor, and here in case of rods we have multiple sensors to each nerve. Here we can, rods react even into the low light. That is why into the comparison we have seen the night vision for the rods here, but they can see only a single spectral band, hence they cannot differentiate the color, they cannot distinguish the color. The next figure shows the density of the rods and the cones for a cross section of the right eye passing through the region of emergence of the optic nerve from the eye. So let us see the diagram. In this diagram, the degrees from the visual axis, that is onto the retina we have. So fovea is at 0 degree, and this axis is with respect to another axis where we have plotted number of rods or cones per millimeter square. So here we can see the dashed lines for the rods and the solid line for the cones. As we see onto the periphery, the cones are having a very small concentration, and at the center there it is a high peak here, whereas at the center the rods are going to be equal to 0, whereas they have higher amount of numbers onto the both sides of this central one. So now with respect to this diagram we have some information. The cones are most dense in the center of the retina that we have talked about at the fovea. Rods increase in density from the center out approximately 20 degree off axis, and then decrease density out of the extreme periphery of the retina here. We can imagine the fovea as a square sensor array of size 1.5 millimeters by 1.5 millimeters. Now on to the previous diagram, we have seen the blind spot. So talking about the blind spot here, we have the information. There are no sensors, there are no cones, no rods at the blind spot. It is the place for optic nerve, that is giving a connection of human eye to the brain. Now we do not perceive it as a blind spot because the brain fills in the missing visual information. So into our vision we don't see a blind spot, but it is actually there into the anatomy what we have seen of the human eye. Why does an object should be in center field of vision in order to perceive it into the fine detail? If a question like this, so the answer is this is where the cones are concentrated. So that is why we can make the proper judgment with respect to the color discrimination with the help of the cones at the center of the fovea. So this was all about the structure of the human eye. The next lecture we are going to see the image formation in the eye, that is the second element of visual perception we can say. So as like these topics into the subject digital image processing, if you like to have some more information you can subscribe to Ekeeda channel.